Sorry.
Can you comment first of all on the game in Georgia, the result, Georgia and Denmark, and how you feel it affects us or what it can mean for us?
Well, obviously I prefer it than if Denmark had won. The draws. It might be good for us if we continue to do our stuff. So, but yeah, we were all sat watching it. Most of us were sat watching it over dinner, and we were all delighted that it didn't turn out in Denmark's way. And of course, I think it just re-emphasised what a good side Georgia had as well, and what a tough game we've got ahead of us.
But do you think it can encourage us to go there and win?
I was never going to try and do anything else, Tony. So it's not changed my approach to it. I knew they were a good side. I knew they were a good side from watching them prior to us playing, and then playing against them. You know, we had a wonderful free kick. We had a few chances we could have scored, but they had chances in the game. And I think yesterday they looked like the team actually at the end of it that might have nicked it. They're a good side, but we're going to go and try and win there, of course we are.
What about the game against Bulgaria? Have you decided on your team, for example, early?
I have, yes. I'll be telling them this morning when we put the shape on and free kicks and corners.
And will we see a lot of players that we haven't seen in the campaign so far?
Yes, you'll see some changes, Tony. Yes, of course. It's an opportunity to see them play. It's an opportunity for those that have travelled around to Gibraltar and Denmark and supported the rest of the lads for them to get a game.
Because you've lost your two strikers, do we take it then that James Collins and Scott Hogan will both start?
James and Scott will both play.
Did you think at all about having watched the under-21s the other night of maybe calling a couple of those lads in? Because although they only won 1-0, they were very impressive.
Have they got a qualifier tomorrow?
Yep.
Then why on earth would I call them in? I just think that'd be wrong of me. The 21s want to qualify for a competition, and I was extremely impressed, certainly by Connolly. I thought he was pick of the bunch. Malumbi as well. I thought they were, and having a soft spot for centre backs. I like the both of them. They were both competitive and both can play, both can pass the ball. But certainly Connolly, he was the one that caught the eye. Connolly and Malumbi I thought were excellent.
But isn't the point of under-21s to develop players? I mean, you remember when Damien Duff and Robbie came in, they more or less bypassed that age group.
Yeah, and strangely enough, we might qualify for the Euros, and they might all be travelling or playing here. I see them as. I'm not sure that if I play them in a friendly against Bulgaria, it will tell me that they can compete in a game against Georgia away or Switzerland away or Denmark at home. I can still see them. It's a competitive game against Sweden. And I'm sure I'll learn more from that than I would in a friendly.
Do you see any chance of, between now and the end of the campaign though, if some of those boys gain more Premier League experience or even Champions League experience, in the case of Troy Parrott, that they might be involved before the end of this campaign?
I hope they get playing, certainly, playing in their teams. And I hope they give me that dilemma, that problem that when they are playing. But I keep going back to it. I'm not sure that Georgia away, Switzerland away, Denmark at home are games for debutants. And of course, it's always the case if I was to do that and they didn't play well, that question would be asked. So I kind of trust myself and TC and Robbie that we know who the best players and who should be playing. But I'd like to have the dilemma. Yes, of course I would, that they were playing in Champions League games or Premier League games, but at the moment they're not.
Seamus, can I just ask you about the Georgia game, the next one coming up, rather than the Bulgaria one tomorrow? I mean, they're such familiar foes to us now. Did you think by what you saw on TV last night that they've improved even?
I thought last night they were very good, but I think the last 3 or 4 times we've played them, they have been very difficult opponents. It's a very hard place to go as well, and that makes it that bit more difficult. And last night I thought they deserved the point, and were pushing towards the end to even go on and win the game. So we've always known how much of a difficult game that is. Scotland a few years ago found out how difficult that game is. So it's no gimme for us to go out there and get 3 points or a point. That's going to be hard work, and as players we knew that anyway. But I think everyone now knows how difficult it is to go to Georgia.
Do you think you're going to be playing? Can we get an indication from you being at the press conference today that you're going to be playing tomorrow?
No, look, I'm the captain of the side, and the manager obviously wanted me at the press conference, but whether a player don't play tomorrow, as the manager touched on, it's important. Players are travelling everywhere with us, coming in the summer for competitive games, maybe not playing, and if the manager does decide to change it tomorrow night, then we're there to support them as well, and that's what we're all about at international level. We're a team, we're a family, and whoever plays, we will support them.
Thank you.
Mick, how do you strike the right balance in a friendly, your first friendly, second time round, between trying to win the match and trying to give players some minutes?
Well, Guy, whoever plays will want to win the game. If I make 3 substitutions or 6 substitutions or whatever I do, does it weaken the team, strengthen the team? Players who have not been playing, I would think if they get a chance to play, they should be busting a gut to be playing at their top level and as well as they possibly can. Then if the case may be that some of them aren't playing next time, or some of them are injured, some of them are poorly, they can stake their claim to play. So I don't know what the right balance is. I don't know what it is. The right balance for me is putting players in the team, making them organised, giving them a way to play, the tactical way, make sure they know the jobs, marking free kicks, attacking free kicks and corners, and that's always the same. But the players who come in, they've got to be ready to play.
Obviously, you've got a problem in Georgia with Enda Stevens suspended. Is that something you could road test tomorrow? You spoke about James McLean possibly playing at left back. Is that something you might look at tomorrow?
I didn't. Somebody asked me about it, and I said no. Why would I play him? No. He won't be. No. I got asked about Stephen Ward. Yes, I know him. Greg Cunningham. I don't need to see any of those play to road test them at all. So whoever plays there tomorrow might be a surprise, but we'll wait and see.
Just on that, is Matt Doherty a possibility to play at left back in Georgia?
Yeah, he had about 2 seasons playing at left back for Wolverhampton Wanderers, so of course he's a consideration. Let's hope he's fit and his knee's okay.
Cheers, mate.
Mick, what specifically do you want to see from your side tomorrow night?
It's always nice to see them win, of course. I'd like to see whoever players play, I'd like to see a performance from them that warrants me giving me some consideration that I might have to play them in the next game. Or, everybody else sees that and they think, oh, well, yeah, he could play. If so-and-so's not doing the business, then at least we've got other players that can come in and do a job equally as well, if not better. So I'd like to see players give me the problem I talked about, the 21s, if they were playing in Champions League or Premier League, that I look at them and think, you know what, he can do it. And I hope everybody else sees the same.
And the test that Bulgaria will pose, how do you assess that challenge?
Well, I watched most of the game against England. England are a very good side, and Bulgaria, I don't know whether they just tried to sit back and contain them and couldn't, and were well beaten. They've had some decent results, certainly in the Nations League. Actually, funnily enough, somebody told me this morning that the best players they've got are in the under-21s, and they've been taken out of the squad and put in the 21s, probably because they want that team to qualify. An interesting concept that, because if I took them and I stopped the under-21s qualifying because I'd nicked the players, there'd be yells and screams of why on earth did I do it? Bizarre. Anyway, they'll pose a threat. They've just had a competitive game like we have. Whether they make changes, I don't know. I will be doing, and I'm just looking for that same competitive edge that the lads who have been playing in the last 4 or 5 games have shown us as a team.
And just to clarify, if the under-21s didn't have a qualifier against Sweden, would you be tempted to bring in the lads to have a look at them?
Yes.
But you just don't want to pull them out of this big game?
That was a fairly categoric answer, that, wasn't it? I don't know, I can't put any more meat on the bones than that. Yes, I would.
All right, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Anyone else for broadcast?